mayhem ensues.
Mayhem. Hey, that's our new name. Mayhem.
Hey, mayhem.
Oh.
With lips on loan from God, it's your hometown movie guys, Tina, Craig, and Andy, and some other guy named Randy. Anyway, bringing you everything that's going on at the Sawmill Theaters and ever so much more, and happy to do so. As a matter of fact, got a lot of interesting things to share with you this morning, and with us in the studio, Tina, Craig, and Andy. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
Yes.
Dang, he said good. I will echo him.
Wow.
Good.
And Andy?
I'm just pleased to be here.
I am more than highly mediocre.
You're so restrained this morning. What happened? Not enough coffee?
Long
Well,
night.
those little coffee beans with chocolates on them haven't kicked in yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been eating coffee beans at the radio station
Chris
this
took
morning.
them away from
Just
me.
seeing how long it takes for us to actually bounce off the ceilings here. Now, one of the things, first of all, I want to talk about, and I need you
They
to
look like rabbit
talk at
droppings.
length about this just for a moment so I can reach over there and grab some headphones. We have 2 new movies starting today.
3 new movies.
3 new movies.
3 new
Not
movies.
1, not 2, but 3.
3, yes.
All right,
Yeah.
so give it to us in order.
Well, let's start with the kids one. We've got Peter Rabbit, the Runaway.
Oh,
That's a PG. The rabbit and stuff are, of course, animated, but then it's live action after that.
you couldn't get any real talking rabbits or
No,
what?
no talking
Boy,
rabbits.
man, budget's really...
What's his
Rented
name?
out.
So, all right, so Peter Rabbit, you got something for the kids. That's rated
Yes.
PG?
PG, yes. PG
Okay.
for the kids. Queen Bees.
Well, wait, let's talk a little bit about Peter Rabbit, for heaven's sakes. Gee whiz, we don't need to rush through here. Peter Rabbit is a good movie.
It's time for Andy Through the Looking Glass.
Ooh.
Give him more coffee beans,
Find out about
please.
that. Peter Rabbit 2 is
Right.
already profitable.
Peter Rabbit Part 2.
Part D.
Yeah.
$45 million budget, and it's brought in $94 million at the box office, which, according to me, which might not be exactly correct, Craig would know more exactly, but he's not allowed to say. But by my reckoning, they are $2 million in profit.
In the black, wow.
Yeah.
And how long has this been out?
What, a week?
Came out 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Boy, if you can break even in 2 weeks, that's a pretty sweet investment.
Yeah, and say what you want, $2 million is $2 million.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're not done yet.
Trust me, if you have an extra $2 million and you're trying to figure out where to get rid of it, I can help you with that.
You know, and Andy, those numbers for profitability are no one knows.
No one knows.
They keep juggling those things long after the movie comes out.
So they really don't want you to know, is kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's not really. I guess that's their business. But you know, things like marketing come into it. You know how much they put out there, and those numbers don't shake out for a long time. Right?
Yeah, and then there's all kinds of little side things that they get from, you know, if you watch the movie at the end, you're always seeing stuff like the Film Board of Ontario kicking in some degree of goodness in terms of money.
Or when they're eating dinner at the table, there's a nice big jar of Arnold's pickles there or something with all the branding facing the camera.
Really good, eh?
Hey,
Yeah,
Is it kosher?
Yeah, you know, tax credits come in.
Dilly.
Yeah,
They get tax
right,
credits for
right.
doing this stuff.
right.
You know, if you make a movie in a city, it brings in a huge amount of money for that city. You know, it's an event.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so now is it possible for
And
us?
it's a cute little movie, too.
Have you seen it yourself?
No, I haven't, but I saw the previous movie, and this one was approximately the same movie over again. So-
Well, that'll make you go out and see it right away.
That's Hollywood. That's how they do it.
No, look, we got a whole new bunch of 3 and 4 year olds that haven't
There you
seen
go.
the previous movie. So, you know,
Well,
geez,
it's a good thing, you know, get kids out
cynical
there.
old coot.
I am. I haven't had my Geritol yet today. So that's just one of 3 new movies
That's
starting
one.
today.
Queen Bees.
Queen Bees, and they're not talking about the little winged
No,
pollinators.
they're not. No.
Ooh.
This is a woman burns down her apartment, so she has to go live in a senior facility
Right.
for a bit, and it's kind of run by Anne Margaret, and Jane Curtin is in this
Oh
one.
my
Wow.
gosh.
Ellen Burstyn is the kind of the lead on this one,
Go
but
see that.
these women kind of run the facility.
Kind of like the facility mafioso.
Yes,
Ooh.
exactly,
It's like,
exactly.
like Mean Girls are now 77 years old.
Hence the term
Looks
Queen
like-
Bees.
James Caan is in this one.
Oh,
James Caan, wow,
my
that's some
Yeah.
big names.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's so weird to think of them all being cast in a very elderly role. I'm trying to. There ain't no nice way to say that, is there?
Well, James
Time marches on.
That's true.
Yes,
Whether you like
yes,
it
it
or not.
does. But,
Yeah.
But enough about my face. Anyway, so
it's a comedy. Looks great. Again,
Yeah.
I think everyone should enjoy this one.
and you know, there's something about with all the other weirdness that's going on in the world right now. There's nothing quite like, for me at least. I love to sit down and watch a good comedy. I mean, give me something,
Yeah.
a good gut busting. Departure from reality for a couple hours, and to me, that's money well spent.
Departure from reality. We've got that covered.
Jose,
Yeah.
Fast and Furious.
there's a tremendous departure from
yes.
What
reality.
a segue.
F9, the ninth of the series.
Whoa.
That was starting up today too.
Wow. And we were talking before going on there, and I think I mentioned it last week that I recently had seen the previous Fast and Furious movie, which came out a couple of weeks ago or something, and it's like a guilty pleasure. I mean, it was some of the most outrageously ridiculous scenes that couldn't happen ever anywhere on any planet. Yet I found myself thoroughly enamored and thoroughly entertained just watching.
Cars swinging from ropes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just,
right.
uh,
That
How
happens.
would that be?
That happens all the time.
Yeah, you can't come into it and think about it a lot, or
Right.
I've been trying to do that driving down the
have
hill.
to.
Yeah. Well, that explains what I've seen going on.
You have to suspend reality a little bit, but yeah, these movies are fun.
Right.
There's a lot of comedy in them. This group has been together. Most of these actors have been together for the whole thing, and that they have this repertoire, I guess you call it, that really works. They are, like you said, they're fun to watch.
They are definitely
entertaining.
fun, and it is entertaining. It's again, if you're wanting to sit and debate, well, how far do you think you could jump that car by going off the back of an aircraft carrier?
Over a volcano.
Yeah, right.
Right.
In your Speedo, but anyway, I mean, none of it makes a bit of sense. I don't know about the Speedo part. I don't know where that came from, but I mean, none of it makes
I
sense.
like that part, Beth.
But I bet you do. But it is thoroughly entertaining. I mean, it's in a bizarre way.
They are. They're crazy films, and somehow it works. So these things have. I think most of them made over $1 billion. This thing has got to made. And is it over? I think it has to be over $10 billion for the series.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I didn't check on that.
We don't know how to count to that many zeros.
Yeah,
It's a lot, and it's worth it to go see. Craig is quite correct. None of and you too, as far as that goes.
That doesn't happen often.
A lot of the stuff just doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but it's really fun to watch, and they go way out of their way to make it entertaining, make it visually arresting for us.
Right.
And they spent $200 million to make this movie.
Boy, would that be fun? Here's $200 million. Make a really good, crash 'em up car movie. I think.
The special effects on these are just
amazing.
yes.
And-
incredible.
and-
Real quick,
And I can't wait. I mean, I'm excited to go see this.
It is a strange,
see what,
guilty
what,
pleasure.
what crazy stuff they're up to this time.
Real quick before I lose track here, we've got people also following along this morning on Facebook Live. You can just look for KRIM FM on Facebook, and you'll see our bright shining faces here on the screen. But Francine just gave us a message here on Facebook that says, "Went yesterday to the movies. It was so great after a year of not attending."
Oh,
Yay!
nice.
Oh, thank you for going back.
And by the way,
Francine, you're okay.
Yes.
Angus and Loretta are also watching. Hello, to all of you. But I think Francine brings up a great point in that with all of the COVID stuff. I mean, there was that obviously had a profound impact on your business for the last year, and it looks like we're finally getting back closer to whatever reality is.
It's been creeping back.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that from a lot of people. It's like, oh, first time I've been back in a year, and so that's good to hear.
Yeah,
that's good to
definitely.
hear.
And that'd be kind of spooky for everybody. But at any rate, by the way, if you have any particular points of view about the Fast and Furious folks, today our topic du jour is going to be Vin Diesel movies and Fast and Furious, or car movies in general. So if you have a favorite car movie, and real quick, just as a slight departure, whilst in the middle of trying to communicate all of this nonsense.
What?
I think one of the coolest vehicle type scenes in a movie goes back to, what was it, 1969, I think, or right around that time, with The Great Escape. and Steve McQueen on the motorcycle, jumping the big windrows of barbed wire and stuff.
Doing his own stunts.
Yeah, and he was actually doing it himself.
He was
Yeah,
so amazing.
yeah, and I don't know. To me, that was cool, real deal stuff. Especially when it's the actor himself was actually out there
Right.
jumping the motorcycle and everything. I thought, that's pretty impressive.
Right.
And I'm not sure that there's anybody doing things. I mean,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise does.
Oh, Tom
a lot,
Cruise, yeah.
you know, he's-
And he actually strapped to the outside of a moving jet for that last movie there. That
Well, there's a vehicle thing for you.
that was that's quite a chase scene. I
Yeah.
just want to hang on.
Yeah.
On that jet scene, I guess they had to spend a couple hours clearing the runway of any even small pebbles.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Something like that gets kicked up through one of those
Right.
props and
Right.
right.
like a bullet.
I think afterwards they would have taken a couple hours to clean my shorts.
Yeah.
That would have. I mean, just being hanging onto the outside of a jet as it takes off. That had to be, in a word, a rush.
Tom Cruise was in one of his Mission Impossible movies recently, and there's a scene where he's out in Morocco, out in the desert. Evidently, they have some beautiful highways in Morocco, which I never would have thought.
Nothing else is beautiful.
But he's out in the desert, going through the foothills,
Mhm.
and on a motorcycle, this beautiful highway, and he is going like a banshee, and he's really, really stupidly fast. And they had real problems because you have to insure your movie star in case something happens to him. You don't want to get halfway through the thing, through production, spend $80 million, and then have him run into the ditch and die. But they couldn't get him insured
Wow.
because it's too dangerous.
Oh,
But he did it. He did it anyway. He did it anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
And because
That's
he's a competent motorcyclist, he was able to do it. But that adds some authenticity to the movie that you don't ordinarily see.
Right.
I hearken back to about 19.
Hearken.
Back to about 1978, I believe. I was working for Rogers Corporation Circuit Systems Division down on Williamsfield Road, which at the time was a big manufacturing plant kind of surrounded by agricultural fields. And I was coming up out of Phoenix, come up I-10 and get off on Williamsfield Road, and I had a motorcycle as my only means of transportation. Was cruising along that road at a fairly high rate of speed that I don't care to admit, even though the statute of limitations have expired on that.
Not at home.
But yeah, it's true. But one of those big June bugs,
Oh.
caught that puppy right in the forehead, just about took me off the bike, scared the holy wee waddens out of me, and
Yeah.
I've never done anything quite like that again, at least without a helmet.
Tom Cruise on a motorcycle. That's from Top Gun.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that scene where he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So that was.
Yeah.
Was it
No.
30 years ago? 40,
Yeah.
40
maybe.
years ago?
Okay, so we need to,
That's-
since we're
That's really depressing.
yeah, since we're talking about cars and car chases,
Mhm.
I think the all-time great car chase is in Bullet with Steve McQueen.
Oh,
And they had real race car drivers doing that.
right.
And what's really interesting about it is there's no music in that scene. It is absolutely, it's like you were in a car driving it, because you wouldn't hear incidental music when you're driving,
Mhm.
unless it was Henry McGuire, right?
Right.
But man, that chase scene, and seriously, it goes on for about, I don't know, how long, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long scene.
It's been a long
Oh,
time since I've
man,
seen that.
That is a great movie, but that's the ultimate car movie scene for me.
And the Fast and Furious, I mean, gosh, there's been how many different versions of this now, or iterations of Fast and
9, 10?
This is 9.
Did Hobbs and Shaw count as one, or
I think that's within the 9.
Within the 9.
Yeah.
But I mean, that many movies, and there's, when you look back through those, I mean, there's some pretty impressive things that they, were able to visualize anyway. Or
Well, yeah, using their imagination to come up with these. I look at the where they're racing a submarine across a frozen lake, and somehow a torpedo ends up on the ice, and Dwayne Johnson pulls up next to the torpedo as it's sliding across the ice, opens the door, and puts his leg out and kicks the torpedo to change its direction. Just
well, that's never happened to you.
Yeah, this is
My gosh.
insanity.
You run a theater, you do do that all the time.
Yeah,
God.
I don't even know how these guys even come up with these crazy ideas.
Or jumping from one building to another, driving all the way through a building and out the other side. Yeah.
And then land it and keep driving.
Sure, of course.
Inside the building.
Good suspension, good tires on this place.
Yeah, it's like a Ferrari too.
Yeah, nice and inexpensive.
Speaking of which, car movie, Ford
Yeah.
versus Ferrari.
Ooh, there you go.
That was such a great movie.
And a little bit of historical
Yes,
focus
historically
as well.
true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's a great line in there where Enzo Ferrari is making a comment on Ford Motor Products, and he says, "The Mustang is a car for secretaries."
Ooh, ouch.
Ouch.
My wife's very first car was a 1965 Ford Mustang.
Oh,
classic.
It was a soft top.
Wow.
Convertible, and her dad bought it for her. It was all pristine, in perfect original condition, and he put custom pinstriping on it, put her name on the door,
Oh.
took out the original radio and put in a stereo and did a bunch of stuff, which
Oh, my word.
made me come up with a couple of extra little words, but boy, we wish we still had that car.
Oh, I bet.
That was a sweet
But
little
we still have 3 more movies that are playing this week.
Yes, and those
Yes,
movies are,
Yes, and back to
Still,
Nice segue.
Still playing. Quiet Place 2.
right? How's that been doing?
It's done great.
Yeah.
It's done great. This will probably be the last week for A Quiet Place 2.
And this is the one about they've got scary monsters that come in and kill anything that makes a
Emily
noise.
Blunt. It's a great film.
Yeah.
Great movie.
And have you seen this one, Andy?
Oh, yeah.
And?
I ordinarily, I'm not a fan of scary movies, but this is a tremendously good movie
Mhm.
that happens to have some scare the jeebers out of you a few
I'm
times.
kind of surprised to hear that. I thought you were kind of like Mikey with the Life cereal. I didn't think you liked anything.
Yeah, well, I'm not much for horror flicks.
I'm not either. I've seen enough horror in my
I
life.
see them from time to time, but this is really a good movie. Emily
So
Blunt.
it's not like the thoughtless type of scary
No,
movie where you,
no.
and you're supposed to jump. I mean, they've got a lot more cerebral stuff happening.
Yeah, and it's not just me. This is making substantial bank.
Oh, there you go. Bottom line.
I'm always interested in that because I think that good movies deserve to be rewarded, and I'm happy when they are. And this one cost them $61 million to make, and so far, and they're far from done, it's brought in $226 million.
Yippee.
Wow.
So
They're doing something right.
They are really making some good money.
This was one that kind of kicked off the summertime, and really Memorial Day, I think, was for the nation. I think everyone kind of came back out again, and this one.
And was that
kicked
true
off
on the
season.
local level too? I mean, are you seeing that same kind of trending happening?
Yeah, we definitely picked up.
Good.
I still haven't seen if anyone's worried about that type of stuff, but we have not had any sellouts yet, so
Right.
there's plenty of seats still. But yeah, we have had a pickup for sure.
Outstanding. And now, is this something that you've seen, Tina?
I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one yet.
Okay. And what's the most recent thing you've been watching at the Sawmill Theaters?
You know, at the Sawmill Theaters, I'm so ashamed.
I just want to
I
take this
really-
opportunity to make fun of
I
you.
know. I deserve to be chastised. I shouldn't even be here. You know,
She's not even a guy.
I'm not even. I know, really. But I'm so sorry, and I'm actually going to go see the Anne Margaret. They're all my contemporaries, you know.
Queen Bees, here we go.
The Queen Bees. I mean, I'm a Queen Bee, so I'm going to go. Right?
You're starting.
Well, at least
to be
she
like
said it,
Randy.
and I didn't.
Yeah.
You're starting to be like Randy.
I know.
And some
Really?
movie,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but all those actors are just wonderful. I mean, you say Anne Margaret to me, and I'm there. You know,
Boy, and her career goes back
she
to
is
the 60s, right?
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And James Caan, I had a crush on him forever.
I've
Even
never had
though
a
he
crush
was,
on him.
but even, he was Sonny in The Godfather.
Right?
And man,
I forgot about that. That's right. That goes back, and that's late 60s.
70s.
Oh, was that 70s?
Early 70s. Yeah,
Okay.
72.
Close enough.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, anyway.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
a galaxy
But
far,
I'm going
far
to go see
away.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
because
well.
I need a good laugh.
Okay, and the other movie that's
Oh,
playing.
still going strong. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Oh yeah, another comedy.
I need to see
Yeah, that's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
You saw that, didn't you? Did you go?
Not yet. Maybe I'll do a double feature.
Both comedies. Yeah, Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds, Samuel Jackson, Salma Hayek. This one's been doing great too.
Good.
This one's definitely R-rated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
language and killing and stuff like that. But it's all in
But
good
it's
fun.
all in good fun. I like the way you killed that guy. All right, so playing off the empty comments of Tina, as far as As far as watching a double feature, how come theaters don't have double features anymore with like the maybe cartoons in between and stuff like that? Like, is there just no? I mean, is there no money in keeping people around? Are you having a hard time charging more to show 2 movies? Or
I don't know if people are really.
well, you used to spend the day at the theater.
Oh,
Yeah, well, you used to have 3 and 4 hour movies too. That
Yeah.
I don't know, people's attention span just isn't there anymore. I don't know about, like you said, 3 hours is about the longest you can push a movie anymore, and that's really.
Yeah.
The older I get, the longer it is to sit in one place for that.
Well,
long.
they used to
have
do,
a break, right?
Lawrence of Arabia, things like that, where they were
Right.
4 hours long, and then you'd have 15, 20-minute intermission and
Yeah,
stuff.
with
and,
music, and it was almost like being in the theater. It was great.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know.
I just think that as far as when I do, that rare occasion when I do set aside time to go to the theater, I think having a lengthier extravaganza of entertainment.
Yeah, while you're there.
Yeah,
Right.
I know a lot of directors get really upset about that now too.
Oh, really?
Especially if they don't have an intermission built in. Some of like Peter Jackson, some of the Lord of the Rings movies and King Kong that were 3 hours long. You were not allowed to stop the film, midway to give an intermission.
Well, and I think that in another thought on this whole thing too is it used to be back when they'd have the newsreels and everything in between movies and everything. All we had was, I say we, like I remember these days, and thank God I don't. But all they had was
a lot too.
all they had was radio. So I mean, this was a big chance to actually see footage from the war overseas or whatever.
Yeah, see that though. I think people go to the movies now to escape the news.
Yeah,
I
think you're absolutely right.
It's more of an escape from reality, but
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to have cartoons though.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Roadrunner cartoon.
Oh,
before I
man,
see something
totally.
and see a
Yeah.
movie.
we do have Space Jam coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Space Jam on July 16th. Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Well, and as I
I mean,
mentioned,
I would go to a double feature. I would
That'd be kinda fun.
allocate a whole day, because back in the day when I was in film school, I used to see 4 movies a day.
but I mean, if
Yeah.
everyone, especially in a town where there's a higher per capita percentage of retired folks, if
Yeah.
everyone in town has to run to the bathroom
Well,
at the same time,
I was going to say,
you're
the
gonna have to
demographic is
expand your
not-
facilities.
Yeah, the demographic is not good for long and uninterrupted.
Right.
For any of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it all depends.
Thank you so much.
Just trying to address the bottom line here. That's all. Yeah.
We do have another movie though that we haven't talked about yet.
And that movie is
Spirit Untamed.
Ooh, Spirit
Yeah.
Untamed. All right, tell us.
And why am I looking at you when I say that?
Well, I've been married 42 years. Mine got tamed a little bit.
That's another kids one.
Yeah, is that right?
That's a PG. Yeah, we've had that for a few weeks. This is probably the last week for that one also. Then.
Right.
And just a little animated film, PG, good for the kids. A girl and her horse.
Pretty cool.
PG, is suitable for audiences of any age.
Well, and it's one of those things too, like if you like to take your kids to the movies, but you don't want maybe some suggestive humor in it, and you're trying to figure out how to keep from laughing in front of your child who doesn't know why people are laughing right now, and all of those kind of weird little things that go through your brain at a rapid rate. Here's just a nice, easy one to watch where you can both enjoy together and perhaps discuss it afterwards over at Mackey's Grill over a burger.
There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
hang out at the Sawmill Theaters for a
Or a
while.
hot fudge sundae.
Ooh, yeah, that completely distracted now. Anyway, hey, we're about out of time here on the radio, but we're going to continue to talk about Vin Diesel and car movies in general. And if you have an opinion, a point you'd like to share, how about joining us on Facebook, where we're going to be continuing, and chime in there and give us a couple of your thoughts of your favorite car movie for whatever reason. Maybe it's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I love that movie.
I knew someone had to.
No, you know what? Ian Fleming wrote that.
Ian Fleming wrote that? I
Yes,
didn't realize
that was his. He wrote that book.
Who knew?
I did.
Well, she did. That's why she's one of the hometown movie guys. Hey, we got to take a break here on the radio. Get you back to more of your favorite music. Some tunes coming up from Jimi Hendrix, The Byrds, Canned Heat, Deep Purple, and more. But first, a quick look at Rim Country weather.
Well, I think there's Ace Ventura, Nature Calls,
Yeah.
where he was driving
Yeah,
the
yeah.
you sing that chitty chitty bang 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 bang. It's an insane song you sing. It just
That was Dick Van Dyke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And who was the female lead in that?
I don't know. I I know about Ian Fleming, but that's.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, sometimes I wonder where these thoughts come into my head because I haven't thought about Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in probably 30 or 40 years. But boom, there it was.
So the Love Bug.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Herbie. Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
And those were some. I remember as a kid, I was pretty entertained by that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The car movies. If you were going to pick favorite car movie of all time, Andy, any
Cars.
Yeah. Cars. That's a great movie.
Oh, you mean the animated?
Yeah.
It's filmed right here in Arizona.
Yeah.
There's just a beautiful sequence, and I know you're familiar with this, with the highway there, the road that comes down from Flagstaff down into Sedona, through
89.8.
through what's its name? Canyon, somebody's canyon.
Yeah, that canyon over there.
Yeah,
where that creek is at, where
Oak
people.
Creek.
Oak Creek Canyon.
Okay,
yes.
there we go. I knew we'd get it eventually.
We can.
I have to work
This
at it.
getting old ain't for sissies. Let me tell you.
But there's the two young lovers, the two sports cars that are in love with each other, are out.
I think they need an oil change.
They're out with the two of them on an excursion. And
I didn't say anything about lube jobs.
You can't help it.
It just happens.
Stop!
But anyway, they come down Oak Creek Canyon.
He actually kept his train of
They
thought.
come down
Through all
Oak Creek
that.
Canyon, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
That
really
is a
nice.
picturesque place.
It
Yeah.
really is.
All of that, no slip on his timing
Man,
belt at all.
he just kept on going. I am, just like.
And it's loaded with all kinds of little Arizona motifs and locations and
Right.
stuff. It's just
Isn't there some like Route 66 stuff there as well? Yeah.
The place where the teepees are.
Right.
The motel.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, lots of really cool stuff that are cool because we live here. You know.
Right. No, they're cool because they're cool.
That too.
Yeah.
So, favorite, we've been talking about a few. Any others?
I would circle back to Bullet because that.
Just because you're infatuated with Steve McQueen.
No, he's not even in that scene. It's not. Is he?
Oh, it's supposed to be. It's a stunt driver.
It's a car chase, but the guy who's chasing him is really the focus of that scene. And he was a professional race car driver.
Man, you really remember this.
Oh, I do. I mean, I played that. When I realized I could go to YouTube and just find it by itself, because Bullet is a kind of rocky, uneven movie. It's not that great, but
Parts of it are.
parts of it are very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve McQueen is always good. And then also a movie that I really love to hate and hate to love, Easy Rider.
Oh, there you go.
Jack Nicholson, Peter Fonda.
That's in the early years.
Oh.
Dennis Hopper.
Yep.
Yeah,
Dennis
Dennis Hopper,
Hopper. Yes, the late great. Yeah. I mean, it's a terrible movie, but really.
Yeah, if they were to remake it now, it'd be a couple of effeminate guys sitting on a skateboard going along
You're
together.
not allowed to say these things anymore. Right?
Oh, really? Well, I take it all back.
No.
We're not on the radio now. We're on the web. We can get away with anything. So what about you?
How about Days of Thunder?
Oh, Days of Thunder.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
That's where they met.
Boy, was that
was
at the
hot
time
stuff.
that was a big
Big.
deal.
Yeah.
That's 3 bigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was.
It was a good movie.
Might have been 4 bigs.
Yeah.
And it was a big blockbuster,
Right.
Yep.
big expensive movie.
Yep.
Very, very loud, colorful, and had young Tom Cruise and young Nicole Kidman. And actually,
I think even Nicole Kidman at her current age looked pretty
well,
good.
yeah, both of them have
Yeah.
really held up. I think.
Formaldehyde really does a lot of good.
She's I think 56.
Wow.
I thought she had a birthday the other day, and so yeah, she looks great. Yeah.
Favorite car movie?
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
That's about stealing cars.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage and
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina
Ah,
Jolie, yeah.
There's a good line in that one too.
Oh, Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
And that was one too where there was,
Yeah.
I don't recall the numbers, but I read, I don't know, in Mad Magazine or one of the publications that I frequent, that they actually went through a rather inordinate number of those cars.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Just to do
Yeah.
that show.
Oh yeah.
It's probably pretty hard to find one of those Chargers anymore.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Really, those things are glorious.
And they made a theatrical movie, not just the TV show. They made a theatrical movie, Dukes of Hazzard too.
Right, right. So even though this
Daisy
is
Duke.
oh, now see,
Ben
there you go.
Stiller.
Right.
Ben Stiller
Ben
and,
Stiller.
and Owen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Nah, not Clive, but the other one.
Yeah,
Owen, first name Owen, right?
McGregor.
No,
Anyway, that's the
That's
guy.
you.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And,
Think of that one.
and the
Yeah,
girl
right.
Daisy was.
Fine, mighty
Oh.
fine. She brought a whole new meaning to the term
What's her name?
cutoffs.
It was Catherine Bach, I think, in Dukes of Hazzard.
Right, in the original.
Catherine Bach.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was married to Ringo Starr?
That's right.
She was married to Ringo Starr?
Yeah, you betcha.
For a
Who was it?
long time
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Long
yeah.
time.
I knew. I didn't know.
Do you know?
I don't,
I can't remember, but she's a singer actually.
yeah.
Huh.
Well, speaking of singers and speaking of cars and speaking of this
Jessica
car song.
Jessica Simpson. There
Jessica
we go.
Simpson.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, in the movie, Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig the movie guy comes
So
up with
there's
Jessica
a great,
Simpson.
great car song called 455 Chevy by Kathy Mattea. And I mean, you know, whose piece of Chevelle is this?
Oh.
Have you boys come to race or just kiss?
Oh.
Oh, I mean, the words to the and the sound. You got to play this sometime. You have a
We'll have to look
455
at it.
Chevy, biggest block alive, like the police drive.
Oh, the police.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I've got a whole bunch of older music rolling around in my head, and
You
I'm not
need
sure
to-
that I'm not sure that I know that.
I don't even know why it's not famous. When I get down, I will play this because it always brings me up. I love it. I love it. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Rush.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Not
Yeah.
too long ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah.
based on a true story.
Right.
And this is going to come as a shock, but I don't think I saw that one.
No.
Ah, sorry. And I like a good car movie.
Occasionally one slips through the cracks.
There you go. It could always be worse. I don't know. Now, what about just out of bizarre, subtle curiosity and nothing else? Favorite music to listen to while you're driving down the road?
455 Chevy.
Figured as much with you.
Kathy Mattea, though. I mean, seriously.
Ooh, Kathy Mattea.
That's who sings it. And I don't know who wrote it, but man, the words are to die for.
Kathy Mattea is quite.
She's
quite
fabulous.
good.
Yeah.
Little old lady from Pasadena.
Oh, there you go. There you
And I
go.
was thinking about that this morning. I'm helping a guy with his book, and there's a scene that I transcribed this morning where it mentions Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena,
Right.
which is, of course, that immediately brought that to under my forebrain.
Right.
It's a little old lady from Pasadena. She's the terror of Colorado Boulevard.
Yeah, yeah. And then there is a car movie, Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, there you go.
That was really,
Yeah,
and that was
Green Mile.
oh, the Green Mile, yeah.
Not Green
no,
Mile.
the Green Book.
I think they were driving to something else there.
The Green Book. Yeah.
Oh, the Green Book, yeah.
Which was modeled after true events.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of it
Yeah.
takes place in the car where
Right.
they're traveling around,
Right.
going from venue
With
to venue.
Viggo
Right.
Mortensen and I forget the guy who. Oh, but he was great. The guy who plays the
Yeah.
black dude. Yeah. He was super good. Yeah.
That's the guy that plays the black dude, you know.
Well, he is a black dude. I'm sorry. Okay.
That must be how I got the part. Terrible. Anyway,
Marcella?
Yeah.
so I mean, if you're
Mohammed Masella, I think his name
Oh
is.
yeah.
so if you're out driving down the highway and you're wanting to dig on some good tunes, what do you choose?
Oh, 80s rock.
80s rock?
Yeah.
I'm thinking theme from.
Sammy Hagar.
Ooh, I Can't Drive 55. Yeah. I've heard that before. I think also the theme from Top Gun is a great driving
Yeah.
song.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
/ dangerous driving song.
And I just pop in the CD from Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen.
I'm just glad to hear you don't pop in the cassette tape
I would if I could, but
or the 8-track.
they don't make that thing anymore. When you stick it in. I still got the tapes. Commander Cody has an album called Hot Licks, Cold Steel, and Trucker's Favorites.
Wow.
And boy, there's some great songs on that. I'm looking at the world through a windshield.
Right.
Just some great songs.
And there's a James Taylor song, and usually he's all like mellow and sweet and Fire and Rain. And
I'm
stuff.
guessing Steamroller Blues.
No, he sings this trucker song,
Huh.
and he, like, get out of my way, mother trucker, and seriously, just a rockin' song.
Right.
Yeah, and just about
Very
truckers trying to
similar terminologies in Steamroller Blues.
right, truckers trying to stay alive. Give me wheels, whites, and wine.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That actually is.
That's not James Taylor, but that's
That is on Hot
yeah.
Licks, Cold Steel, and Truckers'
Right,
Favorites.
right,
With
yeah.
Whites and Wine is a great song. And
Yeah.
Linda Ronstadt has a version of that that will
Yes.
just set you free.
Exactly.
It is
I
Linda
agree.
Ronstadt, she was pretty amazing back
She
in the
was
day.
Another
great, yeah,
good
yeah.
Arizona girl.
That's right, down in
Yeah.
Tucson.
Yep. And then, even though it has nothing to do with cars, but I love this song, Dire Straits, I Want My MTV.
Oh,
That is such a good driving song.
Right.
Right? With such un-PC lyrics that
well,
they
and then-
banned it in Canada.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They did.
But then they, no, that's a different song. Never mind. No, I think that's.
A couple of different REO Speedwagon tunes.
Don't
too,
they?
they're good
Don't
for
they
that.
talk about
Deep Purple.
being on the
Highway Star.
Ooh, Highway Star,
No,
Deep
that's a
Purple.
different song.
Wow,
Yeah.
good
Where they talk
choice.
about being on the bus.
I haven't thought of that one in a while.
Somewhere.
Oh, no, they do. They
And
go,
what
"We're
about
removing
Space
those
Trucking?"
microwave ovens."
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, that's
another
it.
good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Gosh,
yeah.
sorry, we're dating ourselves
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
suddenly.
yeah.
Space
No,
Trucking, I
really.
haven't thought of that in
Yeah,
decades.
Space, what?
Space Truckers.
Space Trucking.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Oh, I'm talking about the song.
No, Space Truckers. Space Truckers
Oh,
was
was it a zombie movie?
a zombie movie. Absolutely.
course.
They-
Let me out!
No, the space truckers are trucking around in space and zombies get loose on their spaceship. It's awful. And where do you go?
Out of that theater, maybe? I don't know.
You go to KRIM, man, and hide out.
I go to the Sawmill
right.
Theaters and watch a real movie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zombie, what about
Jeez.
Zombieland? That was all cars.
That's
That was
right.
ours.
Yeah, road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Really.
And
then, okay,
big cars too.
Christine,
Yes.
which is a
Ooh.
Stephen King movie in which the
That's
protagonist is a car.
Car, yeah.
Yes,
Forgot
a
about that.
possessed
Christine,
car.
that
And
was
Stephen
good.
King, here we go back to
Oh,
Stephen King. I know we've
yes.
talked about it
Yeah.
before, but
Oh, that's a
what
good one.
happened to that boy at an early age to cause him to be so good at thinking up some really terrifying stuff?
There are those of us who study the legend of Faust, who sold his soul to the devil. And we think that, that has been repeated several million times. And Stephen King may be Mr. Faustus.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Faustus Faust?
Yeah, I tell you.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Spooky.
And he doesn't seem to have any trouble writing books.
right.
He just sits down, he writes a book, and
Yeah.
then he'll
But he also, it's
sit down,
always,
write another one,
but
and
it's
then another
always,
one.
it's always horrifying stuff. It's not like, he comes out with, a new children's book about,
Yeah.
the cute little rabbit.
Well, what's interesting is he's from Maine originally, and he pretty much sets all of his books in New England,
Right.
and a lot of them in specifically Maine. There's
You just gotta wonder about
he's
what
got a
his
corner on
childhood was like.
creepiness. Yeah.
And he's,
Seriously.
I'm sorry, and this is strictly just my own personal opinion, but he's kind of creepy looking too.
He is. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I think one's character as one gets older becomes more outward pronounced on one's face,
Yeah, right.
and
Oh
he's,
my lord.
What does that say about you? Andy's checking out the mirror. Oh crap,
Oh,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The,
I'm sorry you said that.
Well, anyway, by the way, it looks like Nicole from Black and Tan.
Hey.
Watch. Thanks for joining us on Facebook
But
Live.
we already kind of went over Fast and Furious, but if you're talking car movies,
Yeah.
that's kind of it. I mean,
No one's ever done anything better than that.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot here. Car movies. Fury Road.
Bang.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yes, Fury
Oh.
Road. That were the end of
Totally.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's a
And that's-
serious
you didn't watch
car
it,
movie.
That's not too many years. That's not
No, that's just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Where they made all those cars where they had like two Cadillacs stacked on top of each other with these giant 8-foot wheels on them, and they made all those vehicles and put that together. That was incredible.
Okay. The Mad Max
That's
franchise.
when you start
See,
talking about
yeah.
these weird vehicles.
Mad
First thing that came
Max,
to my mind. Yeah.
and if you rewatch the first one, it's really interesting how you can kind of see the little seeds of what was going to go
I'm
on.
sure.
And Mel, having started out being absolutely stunningly gorgeous, and then that's a franchise. I mean, how many did they make of those originally? Four.
Three, and then the latest.
Yeah.
Well, but one with
Fury
Tina Turner,
Yeah,
Mad Max and Thunderdome.
Right.
That was amazing.
It was
Right.
the V8 Interceptor.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the bad guys. I mean,
But Fury Road really, I think,
Yeah.
culminated that whole thing. I mean, those were, we've talked about this Fury Road before, where these stuntmen were doing these stunts. I mean, they had these guys on poles swinging back and forth
Right.
between moving vehicles. It was just, we talked about, Fast and Furious and some of the, just who popped this into their head and then put it on a film. It's just amazing. And that with Fury Road, that was really, was it Chris Miller or Steve? No, Steve Miller.
Didn't he have a band?
That's a band.
I don't remember who it was.
Fred. What is it called? Fred.
I'll look it up here in a second. But yeah, for him to pop this stuff into his head and then
Yeah.
to get it onto film was just incredible.
Right.
Well, especially when you're like you're saying with these polls that I mean, just where your thoughts are at when you're thinking up these things, and there's guys doing it. I mean that's just it's a kind of train of thought that I'm not accustomed to, but doesn't mean anything. I'm not accustomed to many trains of thought, or most trains of thought, perhaps. But
Even the mule train.
well, me and the mule train, we go way back. Sit there and make an ass of ourselves.
George Miller.
George
George
Miller.
Miller.
George Miller.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many years ago? Are we talking 5?
That was 2015.
So pretty close to
Yeah.
Boy, time just trickles along, doesn't it?
But there's actually, if you go on YouTube, there's some a clip of Fury Road showing how they made the movie,
Really?
and it's really, really interesting. Yeah, 'cause, I mean, they had that semi truck with, it was like a fuel tanker with spikes and everything built up on it, and they actually had that vehicle, and then they built scaffolding on top of it to support these stuntmen, so they could actually, they had them on bungee cords, so they could jump off this vehicle, that would spring them back. But yeah.
Okay.
It's insane.
some stuntmen there that deserve a little extra pay on that one.
Two classics.
I think they did that. They filmed it in Namibia,
Namibia, Africa.
Right.
where there are no OSHA laws.
There are no laws at all, actually.
No, exactly. Le Mans.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
the race,
Right.
in
Oh,
France.
yes.
Yes, and then segueing back to Ian Fleming, the Aston Martin in all of the James
James
Bonds,
Bond, yeah,
that was
James
a
Bond.
classic. I mean, oh, what a car.
Not me.
They're getting a busy signal here in a minute.
Yeah,
There.
yeah.
But Le Mans,
Le Mans was
boy,
really
was that
good.
a good movie.
Who was in that? I forget.
Actors and actresses.
Actors, yeah, I have to look it up. Yeah,
Well,
that
yeah.
that was filmed on location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Monte Carlo. And
Yes.
places, and Le Mans.
Yes, and amazing, really.
And apparently they take that kind of road racing in Europe, and they take that very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
It's as if it was as important as NASCAR.
1971 film, right? And the cast was Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen was in that, and
Some other
a
guys.
bunch of other people.
But I don't imagine you've seen Le Mans, but if you ever have a chance to
It's really worth
to
it.
download it, it's
Yeah.
and especially
I do believe I've seen it. It's just been, I
Yeah.
mean, that's been decades ago.
Oh, yeah.
1971.
I have a hard time remembering Thursday.
Yeah, but that's we talk often about the theatrical experience, and Le Mans is definitely a movie that you want to see in the theater. We should do that for classic.
Classic.
See that in the theater.
Yes,
with
the big screen.
big screen and
man.
Craig's
With the
magnificent sound system.
Yay.
And these cars just go roaring around.
And
that would be
Steve
cool.
McQueen there.
Yeah.
Steve McQueen, he
And
was
doing his own
Yeah,
driving.
he did his own driving, yeah.
And another famous actor that went on to actually race quite a bit, from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman, yeah. I mean, he actually raced
He was a race
professionally.
car.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the last movie he was in was Cars.
Just
He
like-
played a Hudson.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
He was the voice of a Hudson.
Yeah.
Wow.
The voice of wisdom.
Yeah.
It's so much car movie, but Clint Eastwood, Gran Torino.
Oh, that was
Oh, I mean, yeah.
get off my lawn.
Meltdown,
I like it.
total
Yeah.
meltdown. Oh God, one of the greatest movies ever made. Really.
I like that one. That was
Yeah, definitely in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, today. Yeah.
I find myself really enamored with him.
Oh,
With
he's
all
so
the
great.
criticism, and
Well, and
Hollywood
also,
doesn't give him
The
any
Mule.
slack at all.
The Mule was a car movie.
That's right,
Because
yeah.
he was he was traveling in a car.
And that's only 2, 3, 4 years old.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a true story.
That was a true story. I
A true
didn't realize
story.
that. Wow.
Yeah, taken from a real guy.
As
Yeah.
opposed to a fake guy.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's just a real guy.
Another real guy is the star of Fast and Furious 9, which opens today at what time, Craig?
Fast Furious, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Craig.
Cool.
But Vin Diesel is the lead in that. He plays Dominic Toretto, as he has in a lot of these things. But he has made a lot of movies, and a lot of them have been.
He's been in all 9 of these, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of these have been not too good.
Well, he was not in Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, really?
He was not in there, was he?
I don't think so.
Was
That
that
was-
kind of the bastard child of the series?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I
Spin-off.
guess
Yeah.
apparently Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel had a bit of a
Oh, I've
falling out.
heard about that.
We don't have Dwayne
My
Johnson.
biceps are bigger than your biceps.
Dwayne Johnson's not
My
in this
biceps are
film.
bigger than you. But Dwayne Johnson says.
Probably a lot of truth to that. Anyway, I'm sorry. But that, what about, real quick here before we're out of time, because we almost are. We were talking about how cool it would be to see Gran Torino on the, like a classic movie
Or
Saturday.
Le Mans.
Or Le Mans, whichever one it was.
Right,
But the that's something that you do once a month. You got the classic movie, and that's
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
the first Saturday of the
The
month?
first Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're actually going to do, well, not tomorrow, but it's a week from
It's a
tomorrow.
week
We're
from
already in
tomorrow.
July. We're going to do Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Will
So
Smith.
you might even come.
I might.
Yeah.
You never miss be careful how I say that. You never miss a good opportunity to punch an alien in the face.
Oh, that's a great movie.
It's just a fun movie, but
Yes.
they did a really good job with it. And they're racing spaceships in that one, so it's all good.
Yeah, Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy
Yeah.
Quaid.
Let's go get him, man.
Crazy Randy Quaid. He
He
and
played that
Dennis.
part really well.
He and Dennis. I mean, it's so interesting being brothers. They're so different.
Yes.
And he is such a great character actor.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, it'd be hard for him to break
Yeah.
away from that character,
Yeah.
only because I think you just come to expect it.
Well, Randy
He's-
Quaid in Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
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 Uncle Eddie.
Yeah,
Uncle Eddie.
same kind of character.
Yes, that was,
Yeah.
where he's emptying the,
He doesn't get a chance to fly a ship up the rear end of a alien
he's
spaceship.
emptying his RV into the sewer system there.
Going after it one way or the other. All about the bottom line. Okay, so we have the classic movie Saturday on the first Saturday of the month. This next here, just week after next, and that'll be again Independence Day. Now, there's also you've got a faith-based movie Saturday,
Yes, that's the third Saturday of the month. We did that last week.
right?
Yes.
And how's that go?
Last House of
Great.
Courage. Yeah, we had 20, 25 people show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, that's
so,
cool.
so, yeah,
I
coming
was
back.
there.
Cool.
It was good.
That was another one, we had our classics and these faith-based films that were up.
Yeah.
We were doing 50, 60 people for those, and
Yeah.
Starting to get back there.
It's climbing back up.
Yeah.
It's climbing back up.
Now, what about the second and fourth Saturdays of the
We
month?
don't have anything there.
Okay, so you take a break and
Yeah, we
go have a hot one somewhere.
Yeah, usually doing birthday parties or something. You know.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that reminds me too,
But
we were talking.
we're not against filling in those Saturdays, though. In the past, we've done, when I say we, I mean Craig. Craig's run patriotic movies
Right.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
on Saturdays as
Right,
well.
Right.
So
And one other thing
we
that
might
we
get
could-
back to that one of these days.
we need to mention too real quick is that we were talking just before going on the air today. If you are thinking about, maybe you've got, maybe you have some home-based business or something, and you need to do a presentation to a bunch of people, you can rent one of the theaters at the Sawmill Theater, and the prices are amazingly inexpensive, and still be able to project up onto the big screen and all that.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. We've got all sorts of options there.
Cool. So, and they just call down to the theater to find out more about that?
Yep.
And the phone number is?
468-7546.
Quiz time. And of course, you can always find out more about what's happening and when it's happening by going online to sawmilltheaters.com. And you have something, another new movie coming up next week.
Next week is a couple of Boss Baby 2.
Boss Baby.
Yeah, another kids one there.
Right.
And
Those
then
are funny too, by the way.
then some more craziness though. The Purge, the Forever Purge. This is, I think
I think I did that back just out of high school.
But the Purge movies were all kind of based on this concept that society was running really good and everything, but one day a year, all crime was legal.
Oh.
So it just became this one night of chaos where everyone, that was the Purge, where everyone got it out of their system and you could just go crazy. So actually, this is, I think, the
5 of them already.
5 of them. Yeah. They have a following and they're just crazy films again.
Wow.
But
Not a car movie, but speaking of Vin Diesel, in Triple X, at the beginning of Triple X, Vin Diesel takes a Corvette and drives it off of an extremely high bridge, 200-300 feet up in the air, and hops out of the car in a parachute. So,
My wife tells me I can't watch Triple X movies.
Heavy Metal.
Heavy metal,
Heavy Metal.
That's another
yeah.
good one,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Corvette out in outer space.
Yeah.
Of course, why not? Hey, we're out of time. I appreciate you tuning in again. Find out what's playing, when it's playing by going online to sawmilltheaters.com.
Go to the movies.
And come
Go to the movies.
here with us every Friday morning as we talk about the movies. And now we're going to get